I think that where I'm also more conservative is around privacy.
Mm,
So I think that while this election had major impacts on, for example, the SEC and broader crypto securities in general,
hmm
and then maybe things like Bitcoin strategic reserve and stuff, I doubt it's going to be super impactful for these problematic laws around privacy, or in some
mm.
cases, not even laws, but just like regulations by entities, how they interpret the law.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Lyn Alden discusses Bitcoin and crypto. The recent surge in Bitcoin's value highlights its evolution from a speculative investment to a fundamental component of contemporary financial technology. Investment strategist Lyn Alden identifies the recent bullish momentum as being driven by the launch of US spot Bitcoin ETFs, a crucial factor that has markedly increased both institutional and retail demand. The introduction of ETFs has significantly influenced market dynamics, propelling prices to unprecedented levels and solidifying Bitcoin's role within the global financial landscape. This rally signifies a substantial change in the market's outlook on Bitcoin rather than just another trend. Traditionally regarded as a speculative asset, Bitcoin is increasingly being acknowledged as a versatile investment, serving both as a dependable store of value similar to digital gold and as a developing medium of exchange with growing acceptance. Critical indicators, including the realized price, reflect an enhanced confidence among long-term holders, implying a more profound conviction in Bitcoin's inherent value. The launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs has significantly enhanced liquidity in the market, thereby increasing accessibility for traditional investors to Bitcoin. This development has significantly increased demand and bolstered investor confidence, resulting in a surge of market enthusiasm. The recent consolidation of Bitcoin's price should not be viewed with apprehension. Instead, it underscores its stability and demonstrates resilience amidst market volatility. The ongoing bullish trend of Bitcoin highlights its capacity to challenge established financial systems. Bitcoin is transforming the notion of economic sovereignty by providing a decentralized alternative to traditional centralized systems. The capacity to disrupt traditional systems elevates it beyond a mere financial instrument. It represents a technological transformation that benefits both individuals and organizations. This bullish cycle represents a significant turning point for Bitcoin, transitioning from a specialized investment to a fundamental component of the financial ecosystem. The emergence of spot ETFs, coupled with the increasing utilization of Bitcoin as a store of value and a medium of exchange, indicates a significant trend towards institutional acceptance. This scenario offers a strategic entry point for stakeholders as Bitcoin's influence within the global financial landscape is poised for significant growth. And lots of things Lyn Alden discusses, so please watch the video to end and share this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. Thanks.
So I think that the breakout is a good signal, right? So we've been consolidating in price since March of this year. I think the launch of the ETFs kind of pulled forward some demand. So you had a little
hmm
bit really high
Over.
sentiment. People kind of bid it to the moon, and it takes time to kind of digest that change. And we kind of went through that. I think we would have eventually broken out either way, regardless of how the election turned out. But obviously, there's even though there are Republicans and Democrats that are on both sides of the issue, and right now in American politics, the Republican side is generally more favorable toward Bitcoin
hmm
than the Democratic side. There's talks about a strategic reserve.
hmm
Explicit statements that people should be able to custody their own coins, or and maybe even have it like not be taxed. And so I
Yeah.
generally take the under on major changes. So like, would I guess in 4 years from now, do we have a gigantic Bitcoin reserve, or is Bitcoin tax free? That'd be cool. I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't really base my investment decision on that being the case. Um, but in general, I'm not making a statement around politics, but basically in terms of this specific industry, that was generally seen by the market as the more favorable choice.
hmm
Um, I think that where I'm also more conservative is around privacy.
Mm,
So I think that while this election had major impacts on, for example, the SEC and broader crypto securities in general,
Hmm.
and then maybe things like Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and stuff, I doubt it's going to be super impactful for these problematic laws around privacy, or in some cases, not even laws, but just like regulations by entities, how they interpret the law. And for example, even going after like non-custodial privacy services and things like that. And so we talked about risks earlier in this. I still think one of the biggest risks to the network is kind of this anti-privacy push
Yeah.
that the United States government and others have, and that's pretty challenging to change in the near term. I think that's going to be a longer battle, and I think even public opinion is kind of on their side at the moment because people still have this mindset that like, why do you need privacy? It must mean you're up to no good, or kind of Bitcoin's only used by like money launderers and druggies, and it's kind of still the mindset that a lot of people have, and that's why I think that education is so important, and the work you're doing to keep educating about it. Um, in general, I'm pretty bullish for 2025. I think that um, liquidity is probably going to be pretty good over the next 12 months. And I generally expect Bitcoin to probably be higher 12 months from now than it is now. Obviously, no guarantees.
Microstrategy, led by Michael Saylor, is reinforcing its commitment to a Bitcoin-centric strategy, having successfully completed a $3 billion offering of 0% convertible senior notes maturing in 2029. The allocated funds are designated for prospective Bitcoin purchases, consistent with the organization's strategic goal of amassing $42 billion in Bitcoin via equity and fixed income financing as part of its 2121st plan. The convertible senior notes feature a 0% interest rate and are set to mature at their face value in December 2029, provided they are not converted prior to that date. The notes are priced at a 55% premium, featuring an implied strike price of $672, which provides holders the opportunity to convert into Microstrategy's Class A common stock. These notes hold a superior position to common stock, thereby granting bondholders precedence in the event of bankruptcy or liquidation proceedings. Should the full $3 billion be allocated, MicroStrategy stands to increase its Bitcoin holdings by roughly 30,600 units. The organization stands as the foremost corporate holder of Bitcoin, possessing 331,200 BTC valued at $32.7 billion based on current market prices. The company's strategy for acquiring Bitcoin has resulted in an impressive year-to-date stock price surge of 480%, positioning it as one of the top-performing stocks in the US markets for 2024. MicroStrategy's stock, MSTR, faced a significant decline of 25%, closing at $397.28 on November 21st, a notable decrease from its recent peak of $536.07. The recent downturn is attributed to a hedge initiated by Citron Research, which indicated that MSTR's valuation appears to be misaligned with the underlying fundamentals of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy's strategic accumulation has heightened trading activity across the broader Bitcoin ecosystem, encompassing Bitcoin-related equities such as Coinbase and Bitcoin ETFs. On November 21st, the complex experienced an unprecedented trading volume of $770 billion, indicating a significant increase in interest surrounding Bitcoin as its price approaches the $100,000 threshold. MicroStrategy's strategy highlights a significant risk-reward dynamic that capitalizes on Bitcoin's potential as a store of value. The firm's convertible note offerings present a novel funding strategy. However, they also carry inherent risks associated with Bitcoin's price fluctuations and the possibility of market overextension. Investors must carefully evaluate the optimistic outlook for Bitcoin in relation to the potential dilution risks associated with convertible securities, as well as the speculative characteristics of these bold acquisition strategies. Let's get back to Lyn Alden interview.
And the way that I phrased it before is if a decentralized spreadsheet threatens your system, it's not the decentralized spreadsheet that's the problem, it's your system. But
Right.
that's not how a lot of people see it when, their own paycheck, their own, economy's having a problem.
Hmm.
Um, Going back to the earlier idea of either a deflationary bust or a hyperinflation, I tend to fall in the slow melt up camp.
Mm.
That's kind of the nothing stops this train camp, which is
Yeah.
that um, large monetized fiscal deficits are generally going to keep continuing. They're very, very hard to reduce at this stage because it's kind of recursive.
Hmm.
Um, I generally don't see hyperinflation in any sort of near term uh, sense because we're not even at like emerging market stage yet. We're kind of like dabbling in how a lot of emerging markets function in terms of finances,
Mm.
and most of those are not in hyperinflation. There's $13 trillion worth of global dollar-denominated debt that different entities have, and that all of that is in flexible demand for dollars. So this is like a Gordian knot. Like this is a really kind of like entrenched network effect, and
Hmm.
it's very, very hard to hyperinflate the dollar. Maybe in the long arc of time.
Right.
So I'm not talking things like, if you look at 20 years or so, I don't really have an opinion. We'll get closer to that. But when I look at an investable time horizon or kind of a political time horizon of say 5 or 10 years,
Hmm.
I don't really see something like hyperinflation on the table, but I do see something like emerging marketification of U.S. finances, that we enter a phase where we're structurally running these bigger monetized deficits, and then the key risk there is that if you're on the wrong side of those deficits, you're kind of getting siphoned away, and if you're on the right side of the deficits, you're doing pretty good, and then that's how you can build up more and more populism,
Hmm.
more and more frustration that people have,
Hmm.
and they know something's wrong, but they're not quite sure what the nuance of that problem is, and that's
Hmm.
kind of the thing that I get concerned about.
On November 20th, Bitcoin's price experienced a significant increase, surpassing its recent peak of $93,471, indicating a breakout from an ascending triangle formation. The upward trend continued into November 21st, with BTC achieving a new all-time high of $98,288, representing a 6% increase in the last 24 hours. The recent rally is driven by heightened trading activity and an expanding institutional involvement within the Bitcoin ecosystem, indicating a notable transformation in the market landscape. Eric Balchunas, a prominent figure at Bloomberg, noted that the Bitcoin industrial complex, encompassing publicly traded Bitcoin-related stocks like Microstrategy, Coinbase, and several mining companies, achieved an unprecedented trading volume of $50 billion. This indicates a remarkable degree of market participation from both institutional and retail investors. On November 20th, Microstrategy dominated trading activity, achieving a remarkable $32 billion in trading volume, thereby positioning itself as the most actively traded stock in the US, outpacing significant players such as Tesla and Nvidia. The favorable outlook regarding MicroStrategy is largely attributed to the company's recent acquisition of 51,704 BTC. Market observers, such as Charles Edwards from Capriole Fund, have indicated that Michael Saylor may potentially secure an additional $3 billion in Bitcoin by November 22nd, contributing to the prevailing bullish momentum. The Bitcoin ETF market is demonstrating robust institutional interest, evidenced by a net inflow of $773 million on November 20th, which contributes to total weekly inflows of $1.85 billion. This indicates an increasing level of confidence among institutional investors regarding Bitcoin's status as a credible asset class. The recent price movement of Bitcoin was bolstered by a breakout from an ascending triangle pattern, a technical indicator that generally suggests a bullish trend. The current trajectory indicates the possibility for additional gains, assuming that market conditions continue to be advantageous. The Bitcoin ecosystem, which includes Bitcoin-related equities, exchange-traded funds, and mining operations, is gaining significance within the larger market landscape. The influx of institutional capital into Bitcoin enhances the interconnected ecosystem, resulting in amplified price movements and increased liquidity. The recent rally highlights Bitcoin's increasing significance as a fundamental asset within financial markets. The increasing participation of institutional investors in Bitcoin, particularly through ETFs and equities such as Microstrategy, is indicative of a significant shift in market dynamics. Bitcoin is transitioning from its speculative origins, with the introduction of Bitcoin ETFs and increasing corporate adoption serving as crucial factors in the asset's development. The present momentum appears robust. However, the longevity of this rally will be contingent upon overarching macroeconomic variables, such as fluctuations in interest rates and the state of the global economy. Bitcoin's evolving role in the financial ecosystem positions it as a significant disruptor with the potential to reshape conventional investment models. If you learned something from this video, then please like this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance, and we will meet in next video. Thanks.